What if you can make 2025 the best year ever? Today. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can. Today, I'm giving you 8 simple ways that you can manifest your dream life now. My name is Star, and I am hell bent on living my best freaking life. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's move on to tip number 1. Refocus your goals. Think about this past year. Did you have goals that you set? Did you meet any of your goals? If you have set goals and met some of them, are these goals still relevant? It's important to ask these questions because you don't want to end up bringing baggage from 2024 into 2025, right? Just a friendly little disclaimer here. I am by no means a professional, a mental health professional, or anything like that. Like I said in the intro, I am just hell bent on living my best life. The tips that I'm going to give to you today are tips that I have either given myself or would give myself moving into 2025. So take what you want and leave what you don't need. Remember, your journey is your own. With that being said, let's move on to tip 2. Try something new. Now, before you say, I don't have money for that, just because you try something new, it doesn't mean you need to spend a crap ton of cash. Trying something new could be as simple as driving through a new neighborhood that you've never been through, reading a book that you never finished, or simply just sitting at a park or near some nature. You can also try some new hobbies. Me personally, some of my hobbies are playing the guitar, learn how to make presentation, or edit my YouTube videos. I say this because you never really know what opportunities will come your way if you don't try something new. It's not a bad thing to come out of your comfort zone and level yourself up. So now that we talked a little bit about trying something new, let's talk about the people in your circle. Who you spend time with matters a lot. I have come to realize this over the years, and I have gradually been just weeding people out of my life just by asking, are these people good for me to even be around? Now, if you don't really know if your circle of friends is good for you, here's some questions that you can ask. Do the people around you add value to your life? Are they always pulling your energy down or looking for you to solve problems that they created? In turn, can you turn to these people in your time of need? One more question that I would personally ask myself and have asked myself is, are you the bad friend? Are you the person who's constantly needing from your friends, constantly asking, constantly emotionally dumping? If so, maybe it's time to take a step back and ask yourself some questions like, what's wrong? What do I feel like I'm lacking? Things like that. But before we can go into whether or not the people in your life are actually good to even be around you, what is a friendship to you? I want people who are financially successful. I want people around who have their own lives and are not looking for me to feel that that void of needing somebody around all the time. But to keep from rambling on, just think about who you have around you, friends, family, lovers, etc., 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 etc. Are they actually good to be around? Are you good for them? Now that we talked about that, let's move on to tip number 4, which is be mindful of the words that you put out, or better yet, ditch the negative words. Words are a powerful, powerful thing. They shape your mind over time. They help you describe who you are. They are extremely powerful, and I don't think we give enough credit to how strong words can be. I know over the last few years, I have been becoming more and more cognizant of this. So, a couple words or phrases that I try to either eliminate from my vocabulary altogether or rephrase them so that they are more positive are saying when. Like, I'll go do such and such when I finally have the money. I'll go do such and such when I finally have the time. Well, I got a question for you. When is when? When is literally saying some words or some goals, but not putting any type of definition of time on them. Therefore, it's not helpful. Instead, what I do try to do is set a specific time or date or both. And I also try to incorporate SMART goals or smarter goals so that I can measure these goals over time. A phrase that I try to eliminate out of my vocabulary would be I can't. I can't have stopped me from doing a lot of stuff. I'm 35 and I feel like I'm just now like really starting to live my life over the last few years or so. And I feel like a reason why I didn't go live my life is because kept telling myself I couldn't. But really, what was stopping me other than me? One thing I am firmly a believer on is that you will never have what you cannot believe you can have. So if you are in debt and you desperately want to get out, but you keep telling yourself, I can't get out of debt or I can't make more money, why don't you try telling yourself something like, okay, how can I get out of debt? Or what can I do to change my situation now? That way, you're not stuck in that negative mindset of, I cannot move forward. You're allowing your mind to present a new way to you. Start replacing those negative, doubt filled words with words that are full of confidence and possibility. Because if you can't, then what is the purpose? What is the purpose of living if you can't move forward? So, on to tip number 5, which is write things down. Like, for instance, you can write down just a to do list for what you need to do for the day. If you're already doing this, you should check out this video at the end where I talk about how to hack your productivity. Writing a list down for the day, for me personally, it forces me to, one, recognize that I have things that I need to do. And then two, I don't know what it is about a list, but it's something about crossing those things off the list that just is, I don't know, just write your things down. Another way to write things down is to just journal. I got notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks. I got so many notebooks around here. I journal a lot. I am a big advocate of journaling. There's a lot of ways to go about journaling. When I first started journaling, and I'm pretty sure this is what a lot of people do when they first start, I used to do what I call vomit journaling, which is when you just write down everything, how you feel, what you're thinking, everything. This was good because it allowed me to connect with myself and really check my emotions. But over time, I got tired of talking about how I felt. It was like writing to a therapist, laying on the couch, talking about your feelings every day. So I started leveling up my journaling and I started adding little prompts into my journaling. And let me tell you, those prompts helped me a lot. They helped me think about what I wanted for my future. Writing down prompts helped me figure out what I needed to change in the now. Like, journaling overall helped me move to Milwaukee. Like, I wish I had the notebook. I journaled, I wrote down exactly what I wanted in my apartment or my new place where I wanted to live, the life I wanted to live. I wrote that stuff down every day, multiple times a day. I had notebooks full of that stuff. And it was funny because when I looked back on it, when I actually moved to Milwaukee, I had manifested almost everything I wanted on the list. The only thing I actually had to compromise on was the price. It was towards the more top end of my budget, but it was fine because I was by the lake. I had my own place. I was no longer living with my boyfriend, unhappy. I was like, it checked off so many different boxes. I was happy. You'd be amazed at what you would discover about yourself and life in general when you just start journaling. So go ahead and take a piece of paper and a pen and write something down. It's not going to hurt you. Moving on to our next tip, use the time you have wisely. Are you a person who tells yourself, I'll do it later or I'll do it tomorrow? Well, I have a question for you. What if tomorrow never came? We all have it in our heads that I have more time. I have time to do it tomorrow. I can do it later. But in all actuality, time is infinite, yes, but our lives are just a small grain of sand on the scale of infinite time. 80 years is really not a long time. I don't want to be on my deathbed thinking about all the things that I should have did and can no longer do. So if you were like me at one point and you're just feeling stuck or not wondering why your day is not producing any real results or just why you never really seem to get anything done, try asking yourself, what can I do now? What can I do today? Or if it's a task that's too big, how can I break this down so that I can get it done quicker? If you want to, you can even level up and find books on how to manage your time wisely. Education is key, which brings me to my next tip: learn, learn, learn. Knowledge is power, and it shouldn't just stop because nobody's forcing you to go to school to learn every day. We live in the digital age, and especially since COVID, like, information is hella easy to find nowadays. You got books, audiobooks, YouTube. There's so many different ways. With YouTube, I have learned how to work Canva. I have learned how to edit videos. I have learned how to play guitar. I have learned how to draw. Like, I have taught myself so many different tools just using YouTube. So, like, don't take YouTube for granted. It literally is the second largest search engine out there. And going back to books, even if you don't like reading books, you can go to YouTube and there's even a channel, one of them is a little bit better, and they give summaries of books if you don't want to read the books, even though you should read the books. Another thing you can do when learning is, like, when you hear new information from somewhere, don't be so quick to dismiss that information. I am guilty of this, and this is really something that I want to work on moving into 2025. An example of this would be I was quite miserable living in Illinois, and I knew I wanted to leave. I didn't want to. In my mind, I couldn't. So along the way, I met my boyfriend who had lived in Milwaukee for a while. So he was like, why don't you check out Milwaukee? I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not trying to move to Milwaukee. I'm too scared to go anywhere. Now, fast forward to about 2 years later or so, I moved to Milwaukee. And when I tell you, through all the struggles, this has been the best decision I made for myself, especially on like a mental level. I mean that. So, like, don't be so quick to dismiss information. And the last tip that I'm going to give to you today is to get your health in order. Do you have doctor's appointments that you have been putting off? Like, I know I need to go to the dentist. I hate going to the dentist. I used to be a dental assistant. The nerve in my mouth is not where it's supposed to be, so I end up having to get shot up like 72 times before I'm actually numb. I hate going to the dentist. But I have made my appointment, and this time I'm going to keep it because I don't want my teeth to fall out later. Health is wealth. So 9 times out of 10, you have to get up to go make your coin, right? So why not go to the doctor and make your appointments to make sure that you're healthy enough to keep making your coin? So there you have it. Make 2025 your year with the actions that you start today. Have you already started working on making 2025 your best year ever? If so, let me know what you've been doing in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out this video where I show you how to hack your productivity. Until then, I'll see you next time.